This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium training session. This Infinium training session is entitled, It's Very Likely. Now, my MGTOW brothers, as I walk along the MGTOW path and as I gather research as to how women try to entrap us men into their Venus flytraps, I sometimes allow myself to be a guinea pig to uh, discover how women are doing things. So, for instance, the whole scanning thing that women are doing, some of that comes from me being a guinea pig and allowing myself to be pulsed and swept, that type of thing. So, that being said, this is a scenario of what would happen should I choose to get off the MGTOW pathway. Using myself as the proverbial guinea pig, I will cover some likely issues I would encounter should I allow myself to be in a relationship with a woman, a serious relationship with a woman. Since I have a physical makeup, a geek nerd type of makeup, who women assume that they can easily target, it is very likely that I would be targeted and easily entrapped into a woman's Venus flytrap. And as things go, it is very likely that I will be targeted in an unassuming place, like a grocery store. It is very likely that in the beginning, as I'm being broken down by the enzymes of her Venus flytrap, it will seem that she's the unicorn that I've been looking for all my life. It is very likely that because of the enzymes of her Venus flytrap corrupting the critical thinking processes of my mind, that my thoughts will become clogged with thoughts of love. And it is very likely that my unicorn is now laughing in her heart at me, because she now knows my expected end. Now that my so-called unicorn knows that I am entrapped into her Venus flytrap, it is very likely that her true nature will begin to emerge. But even though her true nature emerges, it is very likely that my fog-clogged mind will ignore these warning signals because it is filled with thoughts of marriage and happily ever after. And as I fall on my knees, bowing down to her in a proposal for marriage, it is very likely that my unicorn's mind is now filled with dollar signs because she now knows my expected end. It is very likely that as I carry my unicorn over the threshold of my studio apartment, that my freedom as a man will come to an end abruptly and my life as a slave will begin. It is very likely that my unicorn will want immediate upgrades. No more studio apartment, as she now wants a house. And no more driving around in the 2012 Toyota RAV4, as she cannot be seen in nothing less than a Lexus RX 350. As things go, it is very likely that my unicorn will reveal to me that she has some serious student debts. And so I will have to get a better job, as her debts are now my debts. It is very likely that my unicorn will develop a headache every time I have a desire to be intimate with her. It is very likely that because of my newfound slavery, I can no longer have free time to decompress, to do something just for the hell of it, or to just have fun. So for me as a guinea pig, it is very likely that my desires to build a cluster computer or to acquire another radio for my ham radio hobby will do an exit stage right. Oh, and just as a side note here, it is very likely that my unicorn will regularly nag me, shame me, yada, yada, yada. It is very likely that even given the aforementioned, that if my unicorn allows me to have a man cave, that space will be invaded regularly by her with questions of, what are you doing in there? It is very likely that I will be questioned about my whereabouts on a regular basis, even if it's just a walk around the block for some fresh air. In other words, no more hanging out with the guys for me. It is very likely that my unicorn will need to take trips with her girlfriends to quote unquote settle herself, which, if you question this, she blows up like the Hindenburg. It is also very likely that those settle herself trips with her girls are actually, as Coach Greg Adams says or coins it, monkey double backflip trips. It is very likely that if my unicorn becomes pregnant, that because of those monkey double backflip trips with her girls, that kid is not mine. And oh, did I mention that before I married my unicorn that she admitted to 2 past partners? But in reality, it is very likely she had 20 past partners. Just saying, of course. It is very likely that if the child turns out to be a boy and is indeed mine, that I as a father would not be able to raise him up as a man. My son would have to be trained in the ways of the feminist plantation state. It is very likely that my unicorn's hypergamy will kick into overdrive, leading her to want a divorce. It is then very likely that I will be found in the divorce court, being divorce raped by my unicorn, who has weaponized my son against me, and who will now say she hates my guts because I'm trash. It is very likely that after being fully broken down by the enzymes of my unicorn's Venus flytrap, that I will find myself nearly penniless, living in an efficiency hotel, wondering what the hell happened here. My MGTOW brothers, in the last week or so, I could have gotten at least 10 phone numbers from women. That's because of the desperation of these women. And these are women of all types, races. So, for instance, last night I could have gotten 1 number from a Latina and 2 from 2 white women. That's how bad this thing is. But my MGTOW brothers, given that I am free, and I have long since been free, why would I turn that over to the feminist plantation state? That precious freedom where I can go anywhere, I can do anything I want to do. I recently got my passport. Now, I know that if I had a relationship with a woman, I would not be able to go anywhere. There would be an immediate question about what did you do that crazy thing for? Why did you get a passport, even with this COVID-19 running around? My MGTOW brothers, again, consider the costs every time you have a pang to have a relationship. Consider the things that will happen to you. Consider that there is no worth in cohabitating with or marrying a woman in this day and age. Consider that they, like Tony Lahren, bring nothing to the table but disturb you. And the MGTOW philosophy itself, again, because of the simple infusing power, and as in the previous teaching, those simple tenets which allow you to be free under a simple but powerfully profound philosophy. Consider those things, my brothers, and consider that you are worth more than any woman's hypergamy, her desires to target you, to make you out to be a cash cow, so to speak. You are worth more than these things. And if that's all women can bring to the table, my MGTOW brothers, being in a relationship with a woman should be of no consideration to you. In every man's heart, there is a desire to have a relationship with a woman who he knows will have his back, when she says that vow, for better or for worse, that she will truly stick with him for better or for worse. She will not run out on him and run to Chad or Tyrone or whoever when things get worse for you. So, for instance, if you come home and, honey, I lost my job, she will not run out. She will not do things like when you come home from a long day's work only to find her in bed with another man. She will not do these things. She will guard your back door. A true woman would do that. She would not take the advice of a Tony Laren who says that men are trash, because she would cherish who you are as a man. And she would submit to you because she knows that in submission, there is a powerful point where you and her work together as a team to accomplish a goal. And because you love her and because she loves you, that bond makes it possible to accomplish the goals. But see, my MGTOW brothers, women have long forgotten these things. And they have said to us again, in so many ways, we do not need men. They have said to us again that we need men like a fish needs a bicycle. They have said these horrible things to us. So they have left us in a state, my brothers, where we must protect ourselves. We must guard our front and our rear. We must self-validate ourselves because we know it will not come from women. It will not come from the nurturing capabilities of a woman. We know that because of the MGTOW philosophy. And so therefore, my brothers, again, when you have a pang to have a relationship with a woman, or you see a simp with a woman, you see that they seemingly are happy, look again at the multi-levels of things that are going on. Look at what the women are doing. Like I saw last night where a woman was leading her man around and she was scanning me at the same time. Look at those things, my brothers. And keep your eyes open to those things because that will happen to you. I remember particularly I had gone to a bagel shop like last year, and I was standing in line, and there was a woman holding hand in hand with her man. She turns around to me, scans me, smiles at me, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Your attention and your loyalty should be on your man, not the man behind you. And see, again, my MGTOW brothers, there is no loyalty. There is no thing that they bring to the table, but again, disturbia. So again, I say it repeatedly. There is no benefit to you, my brothers, to cohabitate with or to marry a woman in this day and age. The only benefit to you, my MGTOW brothers, is to stay on the MGTOW path, to daily take your red pills, to daily adopt and embrace the MGTOW philosophy, because it will save your lives. It will save your lives, my brothers. And although it seems repetitive, you must look at yourself and look at how you are free and how that freedom is such a great value to you. And that if, again, you let your guard down and you do not hold the line and you go back, you will find yourself again in the slave pits of the feminist plantation state, and you will lose your freedom ultimately. My MGTOW brothers, again, the MGTOW philosophy is a lifesaver. Taking the red pill is a lifesaver. And that is something that you need to keep in the back of your mind as you walk along the MGTOW path. Your freedom is worth more than any woman that is out there. That's a fact, and that's something that you should consider in your walk along the MGTOW path. Stay free, my brothers. Stay in peace. And embrace who you are as a man. Embrace the MGTOW philosophy and go your way. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium training session. My MGTOW brothers, now more than ever, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.